Hello, everyone. Of course, welcome back to another great episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And your boy Ish.
You already know what to do if you're a first time tuner in, or if you tune in every episode. Please make sure you like and share this broadcast if you are on Facebook. And if you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like our page on there. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Press that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell for shows like this in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out on Periscope, because guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to go ahead and retweet it from our X Talking Ish Twitter page to my main page on Twitter, which I just did. With that being said, let's get into a great slate of games this week 7 of the NFL season. Ishmael, before we get into it, how are you doing today? How you doing? Everything's good? You're looking bright and lovely over there. I see the light hitting you radiantly. I love it.
I'm glowing a little bit. I'm feeling good. Excited about this week. To be honest, though, this week, honestly, for me, was the toughest week to pick. To pick teams, to pick games. Honestly, because when you really sit and think about it, it should be easier, right? Because it should be, middle of the season. Those who are real, we should know who's real. We should know who's fake. We should be able to do all that. But the problem is, there's a lot of teams right now that kind of in this limbo situation. And then you got some teams with injuries, people coming back from injuries. So, I mean, this week, really, some of these matchups were terrible to choose.
If you do look at the games right now, especially for each conference, I mean, on the AFC side, you have teams you have about 7 to 10 teams that are within 2 games of each other. On the NFC side, it's not as competitive as the AFC side. And surprisingly, I thought the NFC side would be, but at the moment, you have the top teams: Arizona, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Dallas, the Rams. And then after that, you have the drop off. You have 3-2 New Orleans, 3-2 New Orleans, 3-3 Minnesota Vikings, 3-3 Chicago Bears. And like you're saying, Ish, when we get a little bit more into the season, that midway point, we're going to start seeing more of these teams start separating themselves. It's going to be and I said this just a couple weeks ago on the show, separate the contenders from the pretenders. Like I told Ish, beginning of the season, just like any other season, I tell people all the time, week 6 is when things start getting real in the NFL. I do not take anything seriously that first month of football, same way I do in the NBA. Everybody's still trying to get a fill out on everybody. It's a new season. Everybody trying to get a fill out. Once you do that, then you can start establishing real game plans, real packages that you want to put in. And hi, Naomi. Want to join the show? Just give us a second. We have a very special guest named Naomi that just wanted to make sure that she checked in on her father. That's just the great daughter that she is.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the first game of the Sunday slate. Of course, we had a first game on Thursday night between the Broncos and the Browns, which we'll recap on Tuesday. Washington football team versus the Green Bay Packers. Ish, I'm going to go ahead and start this off with you.
Honestly, the Washington football team are not the team that they were last year. Too many issues, too many holes. Just not in the right mentality, I don't feel like, at this point. And the Green Bay Packers are definitely playing for something. They're playing for pride. They're playing to prove that they are a true contender. I think we even talked about it on Dooley's show this past week, where Aaron Rodgers himself, like, he's playing just for that. I think he's got to prove a point. When we talk about Aaron Rodgers and we talk about his legacy, just being in the conversation, I don't think is enough. Like, yeah, he's won the Super Bowl before, but to just continually just be in the conversation, and every year is something else that pops up. I just think that they're on a mission this year. So for that reason, it's got to be Green Bay in this game. I don't see if anyone's going to pick, other than Dooley. I don't see anybody picking Washington.
It's funny you bring up Dooley because I actually was just going to point that out. If everybody, want to take a look at this page that I have back here, if you did tune in, of course, beginning of this football season, we had some of our guests let us know how their teams would do throughout the season. And Dooley, with his confident self, and which is understandable because of what they did last season, even though they still didn't have a quarterback, he felt like, hey, with the team that they have, we were going to go 12-5. Well, at the moment, if you lose to the Packers, you're already going to have five losses on the season. So most likely you're not going to go 12-5. But that is okay because, let's be real, Watch Football Team was in a rebuild, transitioning type of mode, and nobody expected really too much from the Washington Football Team unless, you're an idiot like myself and picked them to win the division. So yeah, the Washington Football Team is definitely one of the teams that have disappointed me this season. And at the moment, the Washington Football Team give up 31 points per game. So let's just say, and that's the most in the NFL, let's just say Aaron Rodgers is going to have a field day with the Washington Football Team. Really don't need to stay on this game too much. Besides, I will end it with this. I was literally just listening to NFL Countdown before we got onto the show, and they were just previewing this game, and they said that Aaron Rodgers feels like this team feels like the Super Bowl team when he was on when they went to the Super Bowl. Yes. Wow. He said that as long as we keep taking care of our business, expect to win, don't be surprised that we won, and continue to keep on with this momentum. Remember, the Packers are 5-1. Remember, after the first week one of the season, after they lost, everybody was going crazy. Aaron Rodgers told folks to relax, but he didn't say relax. He just said, shut y'all asses up. Y'all know who I am. I'm going to go out and go do this. He did this. He that man. He going to take care of business today. And don't be surprised if his ass back in the NFC Championship game. Might be against Brady. Might be against Matt Stafford. We don't know. But don't count out that man, Aaron Rodgers. Don't count him out. All right. Panthers Giants. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to start this one off. Because this is a beauty of a game. Two underwhelming teams.
Struggling.
We expected a little more from the Carolina Panthers. The Giants, let's be real. I mean, the Giants and the Jets are actually tied for having the worst record in the NFL since 2017. You want to know a team that actually had more wins than both the Giants and the Jets-ish? The Jacksonville Jaguars. That's not a good look. That is not a good look, Ish. With that being said, this game is a wash. No matter who you pick, you really just don't feel good about this pick. That's why me picking the Giants, I don't feel good about the pick, but I had to listen to my boy Ish. He's a smart man. He keeps hyping up Danny 2 Cent. And I say, you know what? I think he's gonna have a decent game today. He's at home, MetLife. They're gonna perform well. And Daniel Jones, I think he pulls off the win at home. I think Matt Stafford. I'm sorry, not Matt. I'm sorry, Sam Darnold going back to the New York area. When if you might some news, of course, for Sam Darnold, just so he can get off psyche on what he does. And for Sam Darnold, let's be real. The way you started off this season, of course, it was against bad teams. And the way you've played over the last 3 weeks of the season is definitely making me look wrong on how I felt about you coming into the season. I said, hey, maybe this is the new fresh start that Sam Darnold needs. You need to get the hell out of New York. You need to, have an opportunity to perform elsewhere, and maybe you can revitalize your career. We've seen it with quarterbacks before. We've seen it with Matt Schaub going from the Falcons to the Texans, right? We've seen it with multiple quarterbacks getting the opportunity to go elsewhere and, making a new name for themselves. After 6 weeks, it looks but I'm going to pass to you, Ish. Tell me what you feel about the Panthers.
It hurt me to pick against Danny Dimes. I feel like you feel. I think that he can't have a good game today. I think that he could play well. But that's not why I chose the Carolina Panthers. I chose the Carolina Panthers because they still do have, although they have been struggling recently, they've given up 36, 21, and 34
Ooh, that sounds
points
like
in
some
their
measurements right
last
there,
three
boy.
games. Yeah, man.
That sounds like some measurements.
They, however, still have the third ranked total defense, and they are sixth in points against. So the points against was the part that got me, because if you're sixth in points against, even with those last three games, and you're facing the 27th ranked points scoring offense in the New York Giants, I just felt like I don't think Danny Dimes is going to be able to put up enough points to stay with this Carolina team. I think this Carolina team is going to beat up on a bad defense. I think Sam Darnold played really well earlier in the season against bad defenses. I think he gets to see another one here. Let's be honest, the past 3 weeks he's played against really good defenses. That's why they've lost. They played against the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Minnesota Vikings. So those are all teams with a very good defense. I think finally you get a little bit of rest here by getting to play against the New York Giants, who don't have a great defense. And I expect to see better play.
They have a middle of the pack defense. This defense is decent, especially in the secondary. I don't expect them to give them too many bombs, going deep. I expect a lot of bend don't break defense, keep everything short, and make Sam Darnold be uncomfortable in the pocket. That's what I see.
You got more faith in them than me, because
of course I do. I picked them.
I don't think that this defense is going to be able to stop the Sam Darnold, Chuba Hubbard
the
duo back there.
I respect it. I'm not mad at it at all. Like I said, it's gonna be that game's gonna be a pick'em game. That game could go either way.
Toss up. I wasn't surprised when I saw you pick New York. I was like, yeah, it makes sense, because honestly, it's a toss-up.
I wanted to pick the Panthers, but they just continue to let me down week in and week out, man. The last 3 weeks, I've been supporting y'all, and y'all just say, no, X, we're not going to win games for you because you suck. I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine. Alrighty then, speaking of teams that suck, the New York Jets play against the New England Patriots, another team that sucks. With that being said, this is going to be a really fun 1-4 matchup versus a 2-4 matchup. To be honest with you, it's really not. I'm just trying to hype this game up. This game. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to make of this game. I really don't. The reason why, of course, I picked the Patriots is because at the moment, New England Patriots have won 11 straight games against the Jets. So besides the trend, I'm actually going to give everybody a little insight on what I've been doing yesterday at work. So when I'm at work, I like to listen to audiobooks. And when I was at work, I was listening to this book called It's Better to Be Feared. And it's a book that talks about the relationship amongst Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and Robert Kraft when it comes to the Patriots dynasty for the last 20 years, right? And one thing that I didn't really realize until they talked about it in the book is that Bill Belichick really hates the New York Jets. He really does not like the New York Jets. And of course, I think a lot of that stems from him and Bill Parcells being together when they're in their coaching days. But one thing I do know is that Bill Belichick will lose every game this season. But as long as he beat the Jets, that's all he really cares about. And this is one of those games that if the Patriots don't beat the Jets, there ain't gonna be no off day on Monday. Boys gonna come in for training. For treatment, and y'all gonna get y'all asses on the field, and y'all gonna run some sprints before y'all go home. And then you're gonna do it on Tuesday, and you're gonna do it on Wednesday because you went out there and embarrassed me. You know how that go, Ish. Y'all went out there and embarrassed me in my program. That's what y'all did. So, anywho, Ish.
For me, the Patriots already beat the Jets earlier in the season in New York, 25-6. So when I look at that and I look at the record of rookie quarterbacks versus Bill Belichick,
it's not good.
At home against the Jets, I just don't think that Zach Wilson and the Jets are going to be able to pull this one out. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Again, another quarterback I had high hopes for at the beginning of the season, Mr. Zachary. But hey, maybe this is just these growing pains as a rookie. You got to throw all these interceptions to get better, I guess. I don't like it, but hey, let's be real. Zach is just he's in a position where he knows like he's not going to get benched, right? You're not going to get benched for somebody else. You're not going to get taken out. You literally have to go through these the good and the bads of what you got going on. My thing is, can it mess up his psyche moving forward as a quarterback when it comes to his confidence on what he can do on the field, making certain throws, making certain reads, being able to adjust, being able to read defenses. Like, it's a lot that goes into playing quarterback than just going out, making a 3-step drop and just throwing the ball. It's a
You may be
lot
looking
that
at Sam Darnold 2.0. I mean, not to cut you off,
I
but
mean, no, you're good. I mean, and that goes to the New York Jets organization when it comes to whoever's drafting up there is not hitting on the picks. You're not hitting. And if this is a Sam Darnold 2.0, I mean, the Jets have been rebuilding since 1968. Like, it just gets to a point where, like, can y'all stop with the rebuilding noise? Like, can y'all stop talking about just go out there and just get better every year? Because yeah, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Texans, like, there's certain teams out here that just you're pitiful. You're pitiful. Some of the things that you do, it just doesn't make sense, and it's trash. It's trash. Dwayne says it's not a miss yet. I don't.
oh yeah, it's definitely not. I don't think X or myself are saying that it's a miss per se. I think
Skills
what
are
we're
there.
getting at, I think what we're definitely getting at is that there is a mental aspect to playing the quarterback position.
Of course.
And if you've got this guy in that is constantly pressing, he doesn't actually have any competition behind him, and he's out here, making mistakes or building bad habits. It could definitely end up being a bad situation, whether you have the skills or not. There are plenty of quarterbacks that have been in the NFL who had the skills and don't make it because they don't have the mental capabilities, or they lose that mental capability because they are put in a bad situation.
And they lose
I
that
think
confidence in themselves.
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that were high on Sam Darnold coming out, and they will argue the way Sam Darnold started the season that look at what happens when you get him out of that environment that you have in New York with the Jets. And that's where I think, yeah, it's like, could you end up replicating that with Zach Wilson? I mean, I hope not. I think a different head coach. I like the head coach they have there. So for me, I think that I still have faith in Zach Wilson. I think that they can, build around him. And next year, he could definitely have a big year. But you don't want to hurt his progression this year by allowing bad habits to form, allowing him to get
Yep.
skittish in the
Yep.
pocket, stuff like that. So I think that's the only concern.
No, I definitely got you. I got you. Yes, he can make all the throws. We
Yeah.
got that. But again, it doesn't matter if you lose confidence in yourself and you're not able to make those throws when they are necessary. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Is we've seen players all throughout the NFL from the beginning to where it is now have plenty of skill at any position. But if you are not able to do your job correctly, your ass will not be there. Like, it's just plain and simple. It's not. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. Is it messed up? Yes, it's a cutthroat ass business. But if you're not able to do what what you're getting paid to do, your ass will be gone. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game of this NFL slate. Another two disappointing teams in the NFL season. Let's be real. A lot of people already assumed that the Falcons were going to be where they are at. Shout out to Matt Ryan going to go ahead and get his money from the Tide commercials, because obviously he tied out there getting his butt rocked every game for these 2-3 Falcons. The Miami Dolphins. Oh my God. The Miami Dolphins. Oh my goodness. You're supposed to
What
take
a
that.
turnaround,
You're supposed
huh?
to take that next leap. You're supposed to take that next step, and you definitely have gone backwards. Ish, I'm gonna go ahead and let you start off with this one, and I'll finish it up.
Yeah, I had to go with the Falcons in this one only because it's a little more consistent on the Atlanta side. I think I feel more confident choosing the Falcons than I would be choosing the Dolphins, because at the moment you don't know what Dolphins team you're going to see. Are you going to see the team that started the first half of the London game last week against Jacksonville and they looked really good? Tua moved the ball. I mean, it was a solid start, and then are you going to get the Dolphins that showed up in the second half and allowed Jacksonville to get their first win of the season? Miami at the moment, there's a lot of discontent. There's a lot of mumbling. There's a lot of rumors swirling around there because it is so up and down at the moment. And I think they're just trying to find some sense of, hope. Really, hope is what they're looking for, and I don't know that they're gonna find it at the moment. Tua, he looked good at first, and now who knows? I just don't know that he's gonna have a good game. It's at home, so that's the good part of it. But at the same time, that's not actually an advantage from the standpoint of, with all the rumors and the swirling going around. I think that fan base is also distracted at the moment. So you see a bad first quarter. Do they turn on Tua? Some people down there want Deshaun Watson to come to Miami. Some people don't. Like that. All of that, I think, is just adding to this pressure to turn things around, the pressure to show a better product. When you're 29th in points for and points against, it doesn't speak well for you. I just think Atlanta's going to have too much moving forward for Miami to stop them.
Now, I definitely understand. I just want to throw this little tidbit out there. Both teams do rank in the bottom 5 in scoring defense this season. So any other time I will say, hey, this is going to be points galore type of game. But I don't expect that, especially from the Dolphins. Just haven't been able to put up points this season. The Falcons wouldn't be surprised to score a minimum of 24 points this game. That's the reason why I picked them to win this game. And the Dolphins, like you said, Ish, with all the distractions you have going on, with the rumors of Deshaun Watson coming there, which definitely could happen. The thing is like we talked about with Zach Wilson, you have to mentally keep Tua right, because he's already gone through so much already when it comes to on the field stuff. And I'll be honest with you, Ish, I'm at a point where I'm looking at Tua, I'm looking at Marcus Mariota, looking at DJ Uyunglele. Oh, you didn't think I knew how to say that, huh? I got y'all. I mean, I love me my Hawaiian quarterbacks, but are y'all getting put on this soft pedestal? Because Marcus Mariota, my boy, I got the jersey. Marcus Mariota played one play for the Las Vegas Raiders, ran a 60-yard run and pulled his quad. RG3, his last game as a Raven.
RG3 is in Hawaiian.
You're right. I'm just saying, RG3, he was out here running, pulled his hamstring. I'm just giving an example. My point is that unfortunately, when it comes to these Dolphins, and you put all your chips in with Tua, knowing that he left-handed quarterback, I don't care what anybody says. For some reason, people that do not watch football
Stop hating on the lefties. I don't want to hear it. Stop hating on the lefties, man.
Anyways, for people that don't understand football, left-handed quarterbacks are a rarity for a reason. And if you are not Michael Vick, Steve Young, be haters all you want to. Proof's in the pudding, baby.
Y'all right-handed people just don't like it.
The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Nope. If you want to be a lefty, go play baseball. Go make $100 million playing baseball.
We can play quarterback as well. All right.
Anyways.
We can play quarterback. The receivers just need to get used to the weird spin of the ball and everything. It's okay.
You know what Tua about to get used to?
The bench.
You damn right. That's exactly what I was about to say. You damn right. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next game, where both these teams will not be on the bench, because let's be real, most of the team in the stadium in this game most likely will be standing up all throughout the game. And the reason why I say that is because this might be the best game of the week. If everything goes as planned, let's be real. We thought, I said this last week with the Ravens Chargers, definitely didn't happen. Ravens took care of their business.
I don't think this is going to be the best game of the week.
But I will say this though, on some real stuff, and I said this on the show. I said the Bengals will be in the playoffs next season, right? I said this. Mm-hmm. They might say, forget you, X. We're going to be a year sooner than what you think. We might go to playoffs this year. And the Bengals have a very, very great opportunity to be able to pull off an upset against the Ravens at home, and then be able to take that tie break at the moment and be able to be in the leader in the AFC North. It's nobody before the season started would have said the Bengals would be the division leaders of the AFC North by week 7. That is crazy. Shout out to the Bengals and what they're doing. But I have to pick the Ravens because, and I'm just going to give my props and I'm going to give my respect to Lamar Jackson because for some reason everybody think I'm a Lamar Jackson hater. It doesn't make any sense. No,
I mean, you kind of are, but we're gonna let that slide.
Because y'all don't listen. Y'all want to hear what y'all want to hear.
No,
y'all want to hear what y'all want to hear. Anyways, I respect this man in the regular season, but you got to show up in the playoffs, baby. You got to show up in the playoffs. That's what it's about. Phillip Rivers. You want to have a Phillip Rivers career? Sure. Be a Hall of Famer. Sure. You ain't win no Super Bowl.
Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer though?
People think that his numbers, his passing numbers.
Anyways, have to talk about that another time.
We will. That's no problem. My point is, I'm picking the Ravens. Besides them being at home, they are the more experienced team. They love playing games where their back is against the wall. There are gonna be some Bengal fans out there, and I'm pretty sure the Ravens gonna feel like, oh, y'all think y'all really do something. Not John, but yeah, John Harbaugh, of course, coach for the Ravens, said, we're not going to do any talking this game. We're going to let our pads do the talking. So I expect this to be a physical game on both sides. And maybe these two teams, or maybe the Bengals will replace the Steelers moving forward when it comes to being that big dog in the AFC North.
I haven't been this excited about a Bengals team since my guy,
Chad Ocho and TJ, who's your mama?
Yeah, when they had that dynamic duo with Carson Palmer, and unfortunately he got hurt in that playoff game, or else, it could have been a different story. But I haven't been this excited for the Bengals in a long time. And the Bengals actually have a better defense than I think people realize. They have the eighth ranked defense in the league, 5th in points against. So honestly, like you said, this could end up being a really, really good game. I expect a defensive battle, actually. I expect both teams to come out and for it to be a premium on points. I think you're going to really have to, fight it out for them. The only thing for me in a close game like this, I'm not gonna be made to look the fool, 2 weeks in a row.
I'm not doing it. Yeah,
I'm not gonna be made to look the fool 2 weeks in a row. I chose against the Ravens last week, even after knowing all that they have done and how they've looked in these close games and how they've been able to pull it out. I'm not gonna do it again. I got the Ravens. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens because I think Lamar and that team have proven that they have that heart, they have that drive, they have that want-to, that will to pull it out at the last second, to pull it out in the fourth quarter, to take it to overtime. Like, they just have that never say quit attitude. Like, you are seeing it. A lot of teams talk about it, but you're seeing it with this Baltimore team. So for me, I had to choose the Ravens. I think, like you said, in the regular season, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be able to perform. It's the playoffs at this point. Like, we're tired of it in the regular season.
But here's the thing. It's not about you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong on the being tired part. It's the reason why I expect more from Lamar is because now you're in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. You're not just a rookie. You're not just a second-year player that's getting people off guard. It's your 4th year in the league. You've won MVP. You've done some great things already. Again, nobody's taking that away from you. I'm not trying to take that away from you at all. But if you want to be considered Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, again, in that realm, you gotta win playoff games. Like, I'm not understanding. Peyton Manning did the same thing. He didn't win multiple. He wasn't winning playoff games until like his 8th year. Every quarterback will get held at certain standards depending on who they are. Dak get looked at a little bit differently compared to Sam Darnold. It is what it is. So that's why when I talk about Lamar Jackson, it's not about the hate or don't like. I want to see if we can get the most out of Lamar Jackson
Yeah,
before he's
yeah.
not playing
The
anymore.
expectations have changed for him,
Yes,
basically, is
yes,
what you're
and that's
saying. Like the expectations when he came in, when everybody was talking about him being a running
being a
quarterback,
running.
the
Yeah,
expectations were low. They were just like, yo, just come out and prove that you can play in the NFL. Well, he did that. And then the expectations were, okay, well, show us that you can win games. Well, he did that. He won an MVP as well. So then the expectation shifts again, and it's like, all right, now prove that you can lead this team, deep in the playoffs. He has yet to do that. He won his first playoff game last year, but I mean, that was it. They won that game and then they lost. So, yeah, the expectations have shifted for him due to his success. The expectations are now you need to make it to an AFC Championship game, and then once you make it there, you may not win that, but then we're gonna be like, okay,
we can get there,
proven
but
you
time to
can
go
get
Super
there.
Bowl.
Now let's get through that. Let's get to the Super Bowl. I think it's honest, and I don't think that it is. I don't think that you're asking too much to say, hey, man, you've proven all this already. Like, now, let's see you make it deep in the playoffs. Let's see you make it to an AFC Championship game. I think that they themselves, as a Ravens organization, and Lamar Jackson himself, I think that's their expectation as well. Like, yo, we got the team, we got the squad, we got the talent. Let's do it. And I think this year, what makes it different is we've started to see more consistency with him hitting receivers down the field. That's what has made this different this year. And that's what has people excited, because if he can continue down that path, and if he can show that he can hit those receivers, whether it's in the pocket or outside the pocket, doesn't matter to me. As long as you're hitting the receivers or hitting the open guys outside the numbers, if you can do that, this team, I'm not even gonna lie. This offense, yeah, it's a scary offense. You got a top rushing offense, and you can put that together with a passer that's able to punish you when you try to stack the box. Oh man, they can definitely make it to the AFC Championship game. They can make it to a Super Bowl. They just got to, keep down the path. His progression needs to continue. But I'm excited about him. That's why I chose him. But I
And
definitely wouldn't be
Bateman's supposed to be
surprised.
returning back as well this week, right?
Yeah, Bateman's
Yeah,
Bateman's back. Bateman is
yeah.
back.
So that's another weapon for Lamar. And again, at the end of the day, it's nothing but respect for Lamar. If I ever ran up on Lamar,
Yeah,
I'm gonna shake his hand. Tell him how great
he's
he
not gonna
is and all
shake
that good
your hand.
stuff. Oh, he will, because he listens to the show and he respects our opinion. So with that being said, he's gonna be like, "You right. I do need to win a Super Bowl." I'm like, you right. You appreciate you for understanding, and not taking it as like we try and get on y'all, and that's just who Lamar is. He's gonna take that shit in, gonna compartmentalize.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Okay. We'll make sure I said it right. And he gonna go ahead and do what Lamar Jackson do, and that just create special plays. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another game where you're gonna see a lot of very special plays. Kansas City Chiefs versus Tennessee Titans. I'm gonna let Ish go ahead and start off with this one first, and I'll end it up.
Yeah. When you said the last game was going to be the game of the week, this is where I was like, I think this is the game of the week here.
Oh, you do, you do.
I do think this is the game of the week. I think you got two really good offenses. You got the King against the Kid, the King versus the Kid. I went with the Chiefs here, and I was back and forth. I wanted to choose the Titans.
You didn't.
But
No,
then
you
I
didn't.
wanted to choose the Chiefs. And then I went back to the Titans, and I ultimately ended up on the Chiefs. Only because I don't see this Chiefs defense stopping the King. So then it became, do I have enough faith in Patrick Mahomes in this offense to feel like they'll pull it out and they'll be able to carry this defense to a victory? I do. Even with how poorly they've played the past couple of weeks, I have the faith that they have that potential, that talent to do it, because they do, and they've shown it before. Also, this Tennessee defense in the secondary, we know the struggles that they have there. We know what goes on with the Titans secondary and how it looks. I'm sorry to say it, but with the 24th ranked defense, and 24th against the pass, when you're playing Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, I felt like even if King Henry runs for 250 yards on
250,
the day,
250.
is highly likely against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. I just feel like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, they're gonna be able to find a way. Josh Gordon, he's supposed to get more snaps as well. I just think they're going to find a way to win. But it really comes down to, there's a saying, we got X. Don't talk about it, be about it, right? For me, this is that game for the Chiefs. Stop talking about it, be about it. Like, be about it now. Like all that talking about how y'all turning it around, all that talking about, we're this great team and so on and so forth. Like, no, stop talking about it. Just be about it. Like, let's just go out there and start winning these games. Start performing better. Because the way they performed in the first half against the Washington football team, I'm sorry, that's not a playoff team to me. That's not a team that's competing for anything. That's a team that's competing maybe for a wild card spot and probably not going to get it. But the first half against the Washington football team, that looked horrible to me. So, yeah, you came out in the second half and you turned it around. But when you're going up against the Buffalo Bills, when you're going up against the Tennessee Titans, when you're going up against the Cleveland Browns, when you're going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, even the Vegas Raiders, guys, you can't have the first half you had against the Washington football team.
I'm feeling like Ric Flair right now, baby. Woo!
For me,
dropping them gems.
I'm done with all that like talk and everything that's coming out of Kansas City. Like, at this point, just be about it and go make the plays.
Hey, you are correct. Shout out to Travis Crow tuning in. Appreciate you as always. I want everybody to tune into the big board right quick because if we look behind us, like I told everybody, before the season started, we had Ish and a couple other guests, make predictions on how they felt about their team coming in, and respectively, I feel like KC and Ish just felt like, hey, we're gonna run through this regular season and we're gonna redeem ourselves. Well, at the moment, both KC and Ishmael said the Chiefs going 14-3.
But that's Lee.
You are correct. I apologize for that. My bad. That is KC and Lee. I apologize. Yeah, where is your picks at?
You didn't put it down.
That's how you get out of stuff. Anyways, the point is 14-3 is not going to happen because first of all,
more games.
Not even just that. First of all, you're going to lose another game moving forward. So the prediction is wrong. We ain't worried about that. My thing is with the Chiefs is completely, like you said, about is either now or never. Like you said, you got multiple playoff teams that you have coming up in the next upcoming weeks. The Titans have a hard schedule as well coming up the next couple of weeks against a lot of good playoff teams. And could the Chiefs really be fighting for a wild card spot around week 14, 15, 16 and stuff? Like, I mean, that's really what we're looking at when it comes to the Chiefs. We're not saying that they can't compete to win a Super Bowl because we saw what Brady did last season and was able to win a Super Bowl in the wild card. Mm-hmm. But because you have championship DNA, you are looked at a little bit differently as a team compared to the LA Chargers that most likely will be in the playoffs this time for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, we got to wait and see if they win or lose, right? But with the Chiefs, like, as long as everything rocking, you got Patrick Mahomes, as long as they make it they can make a run. So the reason why I'm picking the Titans, besides Derrick Henry having 783 yards, which is more than 26 NFL teams, Derrick Henry most likely gonna run for $175.
Shoot,
$100. I'm trying to keep it nice. Okay, I'm trying to keep it nice because if I want to, I say 315. You're gonna break NFL records today because you want to talk about passing defenses for the Titans. I'm gonna talk about the rush defense for the Kansas City Chiefs because they still want to bring that up. The Kansas City Chiefs rush defense is dead last, 32 out of 32. Okay, so if we taking numbers and percentages, Patty, sling that thing all day if you want to. Guess what? The clock only gonna run for a minute and a half while Derrick Henry run the ball for 9.5 minutes, and we milk that clock. So do what you do, Kansas City, with your little silly selves. And I know you're upset because you every time you play the Titans, you think you're gonna come in and beat the hell out of us, but you don't, and then you get upset on that. Unless it's the AFC Championship game, respect, y'all won that. I got you. But any other time, it just seems like the Titans be getting y'all from time to time. Mariota with the pass to himself for the dive for the touchdown, the playoffs. And even a year after that, the Tennessee Titans got him. But the Chiefs got him in the AFC Championship game. This is the first time that the Chiefs and Titans are meeting since the 2019 AFC Championship game. It's going to be a good one. Tune in to Nashville. I hope Houston is playing the game because Houston is playing that afternoon slate. And don't nobody want to watch Texas in the first goddamn place. So
no one wants to.
And speaking of teams that nobody want to watch, the Detroit Lions. Look, see that segue? The segue is just perfect today, man. The Detroit Lions play against the LA Rams. And we're going to keep this very, very short because there ain't too much to talk about. I'm going to let you go ahead and start off with this one.
Why do I need to start? Or I'm already finished. The Rams.
The biggest, of course, storyline in this game is Jared Goff, of course, playing against his former team, and of course, Matt Stafford playing against his former team.
That's not even a storyline.
Let me finish.
The Lions suck.
Oh my god!
Like that's not even a storyline. Anybody that's trying to put that storyline out there, you need to stop, okay? Because that's not a storyline. The Lions suck. Like,
no, you tell me ain't gonna be no kneecap biting in this game.
No.
Will we get
not even worried about
Will we get a crying coach after the game in this game?
The Rams not even worried about Jared Goff. And even if Jared Goff want to come out here and have a real let's say he slang it all around the place, lights it up, 400 yards, right? And the Lions miraculously win this game for Jared Goff. They're like, "Oh, we're going to get behind our guy Jared. We're going to win this game." Yeah. Even if that happens, you know what the Rams going to do? They're going to look across that field and be like, "Okay, too bad y'all suck." What does it say? Like, yeah, you got one win. Oh, that's wonderful. You gotta.
So when the Titans give up a win, it's a problem. But when the Rams give up a win,
I did not say it was.
I'm just asking. I just want to make sure things are, equality out here in 2021. It's that bullshit. I'm just saying.
I didn't say it was a problem per se. I was just saying for the Titans, you gotta have you should have won that game, right? And I feel the same way about the Rams. If the Rams lose this game, I feel the same way. You should have won that game. I'm gonna look at you differently if you go out there and you lose at home against.
You're at home too, yeah. You're at home. You gotta take care of business.
To me, I'm just saying, this is not a storyline of Jared Goff playing his whole team. Matt Stafford, maybe it's a storyline Matt Stafford going back to play his old team, because then when Matt Stafford whooped on the Lions, he can look at him and be like, maybe you guys should have helped me out a little bit. Maybe you guys should learn how to build an organization, build a team. Maybe you guys shouldn't be firing coaches that are leading teams to the playoffs, and instead talking about you want to take the next step, and then y'all take 20 steps backwards. Okay, that's what got you here. Like
I said about the New York Jets, the Detroit Lions been rebuilding since 1936. 1936. And with that being said, let's go ahead and move on because it doesn't look like it's just too excited about this game.
I'm not excited about this game. I don't want to watch it.
I will say this, though, to finish this off. For an 06 team, I love the fight. They're probably the best 0-6 team I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, my gosh. Here you go with you and the Lions. Here y'all go again. Go ahead, make fun of them some more, because I know.
My favorite thing about Lion fans is it's like being in a relationship, knowing that you get smacked in the face every week, but you still stay in a relationship it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Some way it's going to get better. And you do this for 65 years, then you die. Imagine being a Detroit Lions fan. That's horrible. That's horrible. I don't wish that on nobody. I'd rather you be a Texan fan before you be a Detroit Lion fan. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's how bad. At least the Texans have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl in 65 years.
You went too far. Nope. The organization in Houston doesn't need any supporters.
The Texans are the Detroit Lions of the South.
Until what's the name, Cal McNair is out of there, they don't need any supporters.
They ain't happening no time soon. It's a family business, baby.
Easterby, Casario,
family business.
They all need to go, bro.
They ain't passing that torch no time soon. It's a family business. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Raiders. Now, I'm not going to lie with you on this one, Ish. I felt the same way with this game as I felt with the Ravens. Picked against the Raiders last week because I thought it was going to be, too many distractions, this, that, and the third. Of course, the whole John Gruden situation. Don't care about your feelings or opinions on that. All that will get sorted out later. But the truth will come out. We don't know yet. We will see what happens. But anyways, the point is, they played very, very well last week. Yes, it was against Ish's favorite quarterback in the league, but it still was a very good win going into Denver. And for the Raiders to come back home in Vegas and, of course, play in front of their home crowd with let's be real, the only people that think the Eagles are good are people from Philadelphia. And this Eagles team they're probably going to get woken up real quickly because the Las Vegas Raiders, I really think they feel like that they can still make a run at this playoffs, and they feel like that they are still a good team, and I think the Raiders will take care of business in Las Vegas. And hey, the unfortunately Jalen Hurts is going to be running around for his life again.
Yeah, I mean, you got a top 10 offense from the Raiders going against an okay defense. They're good when it comes to yardage, but they're not very good when it comes to points against them. So I just feel like it's going to be too much for Philly to stop. Also, I don't have faith in Jalen Hurts in this Philadelphia offense on the road. Like that's the biggest concern for me going into this game. Is how are you going to perform on the road in a well, it might be a friendly environment, it might be a tough environment. With Vegas, you never really know.
Definitely ain't gonna be friendly. But I have heard from one of my Raiders plugs that apparently it's supposed to be 60% green in Las Vegas.
I
don't know how true that is.
You never know with Vegas. You never know because fans might actually pour out from certain cities to go out there to Vegas and see their team play. Right. So that's the one downside of being in Vegas is some weeks you may actually end up having a turnout that favors the away team. I could see it with people from Philly going out to support the Eagles. Unfortunately, they're going to be supporting a losing team today because, again, that offense is still finding its way. They're still trying to figure out how to get the ball to these weapons and utilize them in the right way. Jalen Hurts is still up and down, a little inconsistent. Now, whereas Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders are not inconsistent. They know what they are doing. They are a good offense. This defense is still trying to find its way to get back to that Raider way. But, against the Eagles, they shouldn't have any problems.
And let's remind everybody as well, this is one of those matchups where East Coast is coming over to the West Coast. It does make a difference. The time change, all that stuff really does play a part. Again, maybe that was something that happened with the Chargers and Ravens. Again, we will see later on in the season if we ever see that matchup again. But when you have a team go from West Coast to the East Coast or East Coast to the West Coast, that is something that you do have to pay attention to and realize that is a very big determining factor on how a team plays. If the Eagles are not physically, ready, fatigued, all this, this, that, and third, the Eagles will not have enough gas in the fourth quarter to compete with the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Oh, hey, this is what every Texan fan has been waiting for this season, to see their beloved J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins once again, but it'll be on the other side of the ball. And like J.J. Watt said, maybe everybody needs to stop hating on the Cardinals. Maybe they're just that fucking good, okay? Maybe they just are. And I don't know about you, Ish, but I ain't never in my life seen a cocky J.J. Watt in my life. And this boy over here talk. I said to myself, see what happens when you go to a good team? You just start acting different. You just start, look at that. Look at it. You get out of that toxic environment. You're feeling all good. You're feeling all right. J.J. Watt actually making it to the middle of the season. I'm so proud of him. Look, with that being said, of course, I'm taking the Cardinals because at the moment, the Cardinals scoring 32.3 points this season, which is the most since 1948. That was back when, of course, Detroit Lions was about 0-7 around that time frame in the middle of the season. And for the Arizona Cardinals to do what they do, especially with Ish's favorite head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, coming back off the COVID list. First of all, going into Cleveland and taking care of business without head coach, quarterback coach, and I know I'm missing another personnel on that team. For them to do that, I think that is a game that you look back on and say that was the game that got us to an NFC Championship game. If again, like we talked about, if you are a good team, which we know the Cardinals are, take care of business against the Texans, keep moving and keep on getting better.
It's not a question whether or not they're going to take care of their business against the Texans. Texans fans, if you were wondering what chance you have in this game, it's absolutely zero. It may even be negative. Okay, you're not winning this game. Get your tissues out. Be ready to cry, because you're doing watch DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt Destroy your team that they once were on. Destroy the team that you support with this front office that has single-handedly destroyed any hope this organization once held. They have destroyed any hope the organization once held. They came out at the beginning of the season, or during the off season with the smoke screen, right? They were signing all these players, talking about how they're going to bring competition.
We're trying to bring competition into
competition.
Yeah.
That's going to make us a better team. It sure has worked. It has worked.
They thought they were the Patriots of the South. That's what it was.
They still think they are the Patriots of the South. And let me just tell you right now, you're not. You are imposters. You were terrible. No one wants to be in this organization. Honestly, if all the players could probably come out and ask for a trade from this organization like Deshaun Watson has, they all would. Okay, but they all realize they don't have that kind of power that Deshaun Watson had. But nobody wants to be on this team. Nobody wants to play for this organization. Nobody wants to be associated with Cal McNair and the Houston organization. I, as a person living in the city of Houston, don't even want to watch this organization, okay? I'm happy they're playing in the late game so I can watch my Chiefs play in the first game. And then I'm not going to watch anymore because I don't want to see this team play. It is terrible.
I expect at least a 30-point blowout.
30, I hope they put 70 on them.
Can you show me on the doll where the Texans hurt you? Can you show me?
I just want the first team to go out there, put up 35, and then the second team to come out and put up 35 as well. Okay? Because their second team is better than the whole organization in Houston anyway.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. There's too much slander going on. This is hilarious. My winless season prediction for the Texans is not far off. It's wrong still, Unc. I'm sorry. You said it's.
They just got lucky that Tyrod Taylor played the first game.
There's no way you. How can you say the team is winless when they won a game?
Right, they got lucky that Tyrod Taylor played the first game, and let me just say, if they keep up with this nonsense of Tyrod or Davis Mills, who should start when Tyrod is back? Like, I swear, I'm done. I'm not talking about them on the show anymore.
Hey, I don't know, man.
If that is a real conversation that they're having right now,
a guy with the name Davis, I don't know, man. I think he has an opportunity to go out there and prove himself. Be the best quarterback.
Don't even start that nonsense. Don't start that nonsense. I will not talk about this team anymore if they keep up with that conversation of, well, with Tyrod coming back, should we just stay with Davis? What? Stay with Davis? Okay.
He has to go through the good and the bad to be able to become the franchise quarterback for the Texans.
You know what he needs to go through? Sitting back on the bench, because he should be there. He should. Matter of fact, if they were any like reputable organization, they would have went and signed somebody instead of letting Davis play. Because anybody that has any sort of sense can see that Davis he's not the guy. He never was the guy. He never should have been the guy. He never should have even been picked in that spot. But that's a conversation for another day, because we already know that they're gonna go with him and they probably gonna run with him the rest of the season. I hope they don't win any more games.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. We got to wrap this up. We got about 7 minutes till the show is over with. Let's talk about the Bears and the Buccaneers. Of course, if you do remember last season, this is the game where the famous, I thought it was 4th down play from Tom Brady, and it wasn't. It was 4th down on that play. It's not a 5th down. You don't get that. Sorry, Tom Brady. But, of course, doesn't matter. He had a silly game and, of course, ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. At the end of the day, it matters about who's holding that trophy. So, with that being said, I'll start this one off. This really is not going to be. I'll say the Bears will get to Tom Brady. I think they'll get a couple of sacks on him. They do lead, of course, the NFL in sacks. But overall, Tom Brady, of course, is still in the MVP race because of what he's able to do. I mean, he's already throwing. Give me a second. I want to make sure that I'm not tripping when it comes to how many yards he has passing, because it's after 6 weeks of football, it's ridiculous the amount of passing yards that he has right now.
Well, something happened with X. Clearly, people must have seen that he was talking about Tom Brady and all excited about Tom Brady. I don't know why he was super excited about Tom Brady, but that's what happens. You get kicked off the air. I'm sorry. I apologize for X getting kicked off the air, but let me just give you my take instead, because I'm not gonna sit here and hype. And
My apology for the technical difficulties. That has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with my laptop. All right, we're back. So,
that has
anyways,
everything to do with the fact that you were hyping up Tom Brady. So,
yeah, Tom Brady has already 2,000 yards on the season passing, and I mean that already. Again, for a guy that people continue to keep thinking that he's supposed to be retired already, is astonishing. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody can say, "Oh, the weapons, this and that." Da da da. We've never seen a quarterback play this well late in his season, and I'm just not understanding why people just cannot respect the greatness of what he's doing, because we probably will never see this ever again unless you have another quarterback, another generation or two that will follow the mode of nutrition and recovery and all the things that you have to do being a football player. But at the moment, for Tom Brady, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean, it's astonishing. That's
no,
why I feel like the Buccaneers are going to take care of business against the Bears, and yeah, we'll go from there.
it's not astonishing. It's Tom Brady. Okay, good for him. Woohoo! He's gonna perform well. I expect the Bears defense to play well. I expect them to come in, put pressure on Tom Brady. I expect them to maybe get a couple turnovers because Tom Brady is good for a couple turnovers every now and again. The problem that they have is they got a rookie quarterback going into Tampa Bay to go play Tampa Bay on the road, and he only happens to be leading the worst offense in the NFL. So it doesn't matter how well this defense plays on the road. I just don't see them having enough to beat the Buccaneers. It's as simple as that. They don't have the offense to help this defense out at the moment on the road against a good Buccaneers team. Now they'll be able to pull out, some wins here and there at home. I think they got a big game next week against San Francisco. They're going to need to win that game because if they want to stay in the playoff hunt, because this is a playoff defense, they're going to need to win some of these other games that they got at home. But on the road, it's tough sledding, and I just don't have the faith in Matt Nagy to put together a game plan to win in Tampa Bay.
Definitely understand and respect that. Let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the Sunday night slate. Sunday night football, Colts versus 49ers. Ish, I'll let you start off with this one and I'll finish it up.
Ooh, this one was a tough one. Okay,
I agree.
It was a tough one, and ultimately, what it came down to for me, San Francisco's coming off a bye. They've been playing poorly, and they need to turn it around. I expect them to come out and play well at home on Sunday Night Football after a bye week. You cannot have a bye week and play Sunday Night Football following that bye week and lay a stinker. Like I just don't see how you have 2 weeks to prepare for a team, a struggling team at that, and then lay a stinker and let them come into San Francisco and beat you. I just don't see that happening. I think that there's still a lot of question marks about Indy. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is doing Carson Wentz things. I don't have faith in him. I don't think he's the answer in Indy. Some people may say it's early. I think we've pretty much seen what we're going to get from Carson Wentz at this point. We should know what we're getting from him at this point. Like, we've got enough sample of him in Philly and enough here in Indy to see he's just not that guy. Yeah, he's just not that guy that won that MVP. Like, he's just not the guy.
No. He ain't win no MVP.
Well, he didn't win it. My bad.
Okay, please get that correct. Because these Eagle fans.
No, in Philly, they
just saying.
But he's just not the guy. Okay, he's not the guy from that season, the one season that he had where he led them that far. He's average at best. I feel like if they had a better quarterback in Indy, they probably could be in a better situation. I know there's a lot of injuries that have been going on there. They still got a lot of injuries they're dealing with. But at the end of the day, I just think for me, what it comes down to is San Francisco had 2 weeks to prepare for a team that is struggling at home on Sunday Night Football. You can't lose this game. And they've had time to get healthy because they were having some injury issues in San Francisco, and they've gotten a little bit healthier. I know the quarterback situation is still kind of like, but
I want to say something right quick.
I know you about to say. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
You really don't even know what to say.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm going to say is, if anybody tuned into, you said what?
I hope they kick you off the air.
Oh, that's hilarious. You're hilarious. Anyways, if y'all tune into the McCourty Brothers podcast, they had Martellus Bennett on there. Martellus Bennett talked about Jimmy G. And no filter, Martellus Bennett, I expect nothing less from him. He said, you can't win with a bitch. That's coming from Martellus Bennett. He said, Jimmy G's a bitch. You can't win with him. And when he said that, the McCourty brothers started laughing. And I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that Martellus Bennett has a lot of truth that comes out of him from all the multiple teams that he's played for. He talked about it on his Twitter yesterday, especially playing with the Packers when it comes to protesting and all these different things like that. Just very interesting to see what Martellus Bennett was talking about when it comes to Jimmy G. Now, of course, onto the game. That really didn't sway me to pick the Colts over the 49ers. I just wanted to throw that tidbit out there for everybody. I just want y'all to tune in, check that out. I just thought it was hilarious. But for the Colts, for some reason, I feel like they play a lot better when their back is against the wall. They are 2-4. For some reason, they like to dig themselves into holes and then try to rise from the ashes like they are a phoenix. And at the moment, Carson Wentz is throwing for 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, and an interception. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, I mean, he's doing what the Colts, want him to do, as in get the ball out, look at your reads, don't turn the ball over, don't lose the game for us. They've lost the game not because of him. They lost the game because the team isn't just that good, right? T.Y. Hilton is out this game. He made a comeback last week, but
only for the Texans.
We know why for that. But for the Colts, that is something that is going to be a missing factor for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Michael Pittman steps up for them and have a big 2-touchdown game this game. And I think, again, when the lights are bright, the Colts will show up, and that's why I picked the Colts.
Okay. I actually I respect that, because I do agree with you from the standpoint of they play well with their back against the wall. We saw how they came out against the Ravens, and if it wasn't the fact that they were playing the Ravens, who just seemed possessed,
they could have won that game.
They could have won that game. Yeah, they very much could have won that game. I like what you say as far as when they back against the wall, for some reason this Colts organization always finds a way. I do like what you said about Carson Wentz doing what they want him to do, as far as he's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to be the MVP. He's just leading this offense,
pretty much.
But I will say, when for all this you're talking about with their back against the wall playing better, they have better quarterbacks. They have Phillip Rivers, who is not, I would say he's not a game manager. He's a gunslinger. He's out there trying to make plays, which is why he throws a bunch of interceptions.
Yeah.
They had Peyton Manning, great quarterback. They had Andrew Luck, great quarterback, retired early. Carson Wentz just not in any of those. He's not in the conversation with any of those three, and that's it for me.
Well, I don't know if you heard this or not, but of course the Colts owner Jim Irsay said that the Colts will expect to win at least 2 Super Bowls over the next 10 years. So, I don't know, Ish. But anyways, before we get up out of here for today, you want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to, give me a second. Us being all in on them Titans, baby. I know y'all want one. Boy, look at this. It look good on me, baby. Look at that scrawl hat. Boy, I'm about to be out here. Be out here cruising to a win because my boy Darren Henry about to run y'all. Ooh. So with that being said, as always on X Talking Ish, we're gonna have us a Tighten Up and we're gonna have us a Chiefs Kingdom matchup. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, Monday Night Football. Please join in. Halftime show spectacular. See y'all tomorrow.
Spectacular.
Yes, sir.